crafters, thanks for joining me here in the attic. So pull up a chair, grab your favorite beverage, and we'll get to crafting and memory keeping. Welcome back to week 2 of #AWoodlandSteampunkSpring. Again, this is a collaboration put on by Stacy over at Crafty Dragon Creations and Karin at Creative Paper Artisan. I will have the link down in the description box where you can go over and grab one or both of their kits. Stacy's is Steampunk Woodland and Karin's is Steampunk Forest, and they both work beautifully together. So you could grab one, or if you wanted to really be creative, you can grab both and mix and match. Also in the description box will be the link tree for all the creators that are working with these kits to create a Woodland Steampunk Spring journal or project. There are 4 weeks, but there has been a change. One of the creators did have to drop out. She was having some printer issues, so she was afraid she could not keep up and didn't want to disappoint anybody. So Val with Val's Crafty Creation will not be having a video. You can find her freebies that she was going to be giving away either in Stacy's Crafty Dragon Creation Facebook group or at Karin's Creative Paper Artisan group. Both of those will be putting those freebies up, so you won't be missing out on those freebies. Everything else is still the same, so be sure to follow all 6 of the other creators, like, subscribe to their channels, and comment on their videos to be entered into those prizes at the end of the month. This week we're working on embellishments, and so let's talk a little bit about the embellishments that are in this kit. There are a lot. I have made 5 trays of fussy cut embellishments for this kit. And no, I am not going to do a video showing you how I'm going to use all of these embellishments in all 5 of these journals. I am not trying to break the record for the longest YouTube video. So let's talk a little bit about embellishments. I'm going to grab just a few. Embellishments can be anything from ephemera and fussy cuts to these little mini file folders. We've got whale tail type tags, sentiment strips, and plenty of fussy cuts in this. Throughout the 5 signatures, I will be using a majority of this ephemera in various styles and shapes. And for the last video on week 5, I will go through a complete flip through of all 5 of the signatures and show you what embellishments that I used. But for today's project, I want to tell you about some ephemera that I'm making and how to do some quick tips. I wanted to first off start with this little mini ticket strip that was in one of the kits. I think maybe it was Karin's. I can't be sure. I'd mixed and matched the kits, so now I can't remember whose kit it was in. But what I wanted to show here is kind of how I do cut out or fussy cut my tickets. I have a hard time cutting out circles sometimes. So instead of cutting out these little half circle notches with scissors, I'll use a hole punch. And then I can just line that up with the corners and notch out those corners to where they look like tickets. And you can do the same thing in the center here. And I find it's just much easier to do that than to fussy cut those little half circles out. So that'll give you your ticket strip. You can cut these tickets apart and use them individually, or you could use it as one long ticket strip and make like belly bands or even tuck spots. So that's one style of ephemera. The next thing I want to talk about is doing some embellishment or mixed media to your fussy cuts to add some dimension to them. I like to do this a lot when I do steampunk style journals. What I'm going to start out with is with this one that has the clock in the center. When I have a piece of ephemera or fussy cut that has something that I think would in real life be glass, like a magnifying glass, a clock, anything like that, I like to use glossy accents to go over that area. And when this dries, it'll kind of be 3-dimensional, and it'll be dry clear, and it will mimic the glass that would be there in the clock. Or like I said, if you were using like a magnifying glass or anything that had that glass effect. I've even used it on things like mirrors and things like that. So that's the first one. If you can see how that domes up there. Put that aside. The next thing I want to talk about is Tim Holtz Foundry Wax. I'm going to be using Statue, Gilded, and Mind. If you're not familiar with Foundry Wax, this is a neat little mixed media piece that when you put this on and then you heat it up with your heat tool, your heat gun or embossing tool, it will mimic metal. So let's show you that. I'm going to start out with the Mind here on this lock. If you do it on paper, it'll be a little different than if you did it on something that was already metal, because some of this will absorb into the paper. So I just kind of like to give it like a rough texture when I'm doing it on paper. And even take my paintbrush and kind of just get this on here. Because if it dries, you'll kind of lose the ability for the texture. And it dries pretty quick. But to me, it's okay if it's kind of rough and bumpy. It just makes it look kind of rusty at that point. And I don't mind that at all. I'm going to turn the sound off here as I use the heat tool, just so it won't be really loud. Try to hold this up and see if it'll focus and see if you can see the dimension. This is now added to that lock. I'm going to go ahead and do the mechanism part, and then I'll come back and show you how I'm going to distress this so that this shows up a little bit better. Now that gives a beautiful metallic look to that piece of paper. And if you want to distress it a little bit, let's take some scorched timber and a brush and just go over this, and it'll add some dark areas to your piece. So that just added some dimension to that, all from a piece of paper. I'm going to speed the video up a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of the metallic, Gilded, and Statue to these. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and use some of the distress to these centers so that they're not so white. I'm not going to be cutting those out. And then I'll come back and show you the next technique. And the last technique I want to talk about is something I saw over on Crafty by Tony's channel. She was doing something for Ephemera Challenge in March where she was using aluminum tape. She also talked about how you could use aluminum foil with Mod Podge, and she was going over die cuts to make labels that looked grungy and rusty and stuff, and I thought this would be a great time to test out how this would look just using alcohol inks. So I cut out some die cuts, and I'm going to insert some footage here, and I'll tell you a little bit about what I did. I started out by cutting out all my die cuts, and I cut 3 pieces of each size, and then I glued those together, stacking the 3 pieces together to make them thicker die cuts. Once I had all these glued together, I decided I wanted to add some of the gears and clock elements to the watch face, and also to the base elements of the corner tucks that I was doing. Now it came time to do a little experimentation. Since I wasn't doing mine exactly like the video I had seen, I tried experimenting a little bit with the aluminum tape, using just a plastic mat as my backing and going over my die cut pieces. I then just used a paper towel to burnish down the aluminum tape to try to get it into the designs of the die cuts. When I went to remove the die cut and the tape from the rubber mat, I had a hard time with this, so I decided it probably would be best if I went ahead and put this on a backing paper. Once I glued all these down to the backing paper, I went ahead and finished covering the die cuts with the aluminum tape. I then continued to burnish with the paper towel to try to get into all the grooves. Started experimenting with cotton tip applicators, trying to burnish down into the grooves to show the details of the gears. I eventually switched over to a different tool. I decided to try a blending tool I had for charcoal and colored pencils that I had, and that seemed to work much better. It was a little more rigid, and the tip allowed me to get into those deep grooves a little better. Once I had that done, I went ahead and cut out my pieces. I did some paper tearing edges on the corner tuck pieces and then cut around the clock. Now it was time to experiment with the alcohol inks. I used some patina, some espresso, caramel, and teak wood. Using a blending tool, I added the alcohol inks to the felt pad to add it to the aluminum tape. I used a couple of different techniques here to try to get the overall look I wanted. And this is what I ended up with, and I am super pleased with how these turned out. I've got some bases that I can use for clusters or just embellishments on my page. I could even just glue this here and use it as a corner tuck pocket. I've got some labels. And to me, this just gives the grungy steampunk feel that I want for this journal. I even did one that kind of looked like a clock base with some gears in it. So I hope this shows just a little bit about how you can take some mixed media and add to the pieces that are in a kit to make your embellishments more unique and fit your style. Again, I will be crafting with a lot of these embellishments, from the belly bands to the envelopes to just the washi strips, and you'll be able to see all the ways that I use all these wonderful pieces for this kit when I do the final flip through. Be sure to remember to go over and check out everybody's channel, like, comment, and subscribe to be entered into those giveaways, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified anytime I put up any new content, because next week we've got the ideas for journal covers. So until I see y'all again here in the attic, y'all take care.